How did one pistol become the crucial piece of evidence, connecting two murders hundreds of kilometers apart? Today's story isn't just about an armed robbery gone horribly wrong. It's about greed, violence, fear, determination, and one of Zimbabwe's most extensive murder investigations in recent years. Today we are taking a deep dive into the murder of Joseph Mutangadura, affectionately known throughout Zimbabwe as Mutangas. It is a case that shocked the nation, devastated an entire community, and exposed the terrifying level of violence some criminal gangs are willing to use in pursuit of money. Joseph Mutangadura was not an unknown man. At 67 years old, he had built a reputation as a successful businessman whose name was recognized by many people in and around Harare. Friends described him as hardworking and respected, while his family knew him as a husband, father, and provider who had spent decades building the life they shared. His home, located at the well-known Lishin estate along Dunstan Road in Ruwa, was often referred to as Mutangadura's hideout. Surrounded by high walls and protected by security, it appeared to be a place where the family could feel safe. But sometimes criminals don't see a home, they see an opportunity. According to investigators, a 7-man gang believed the businessman kept cash and valuable property at the estate. Whether those assumptions were true or not no longer mattered. They had already decided that the risk was worth taking. Shortly before midnight on the 17th of August 2025, while most residents of Ruwa slept peacefully, 7 men dressed in dark clothing and wearing balaclavas quietly approached the property. This wasn't a spontaneous burglary. Investigators would later allege that the group arrived prepared with firearms, heavy iron crowbars, and hammers, tools chosen not only to break into the house, but also to overcome anyone who tried to stop them. The first obstacle standing between the gang and their target was the estate security guard. He never had a chance. The attackers rushed him before he could raise an alarm. They overpowered him and restrained him using his own shoelaces, ensuring he couldn't escape or call for help. Imagine the fear he must have felt, unable to defend himself, unable to warn the family, forced to watch as armed strangers advanced towards the very people he had been employed to protect. Dragging the restrained guard with them, the gang reached the main entrance. Moments later, the quiet of the night was shattered. Iron bars slammed against the doors. Hammers crashed into wood. The sound echoed through the house as the attackers forced their ways inside. The sleeping family woke instantly. Confusion quickly turned into terror. The gang had stormed through the rooms with firearms drawn, ordering everyone they encountered to cooperate. Mutangadura's son was forced into the dining room alongside the helpless security guard. Both were ordered to lie on the floor while armed men stood over them. Meanwhile, several members of the gang headed directly toward the master bedroom. It raises an important question. Did they already know exactly where Joseph Mutangadura slept? Or had they gathered information about the layout of the property before the attack? Police would later examine whether the robbery had been carefully planned long before that night. Inside the bedroom, Joseph Mutangadura and his wife suddenly found themselves staring down the barrels of loaded guns. The attackers demanded money and valuables. Exactly what was said during those terrifying moments is known only to those who survived. What investigators do know is that the confrontation escalated with devastating speed. A gunshot rang out, Joseph Mutangadura was struck in the abdomen. As he collapsed, the attackers allegedly continued searching the room for cash and valuables before fleeing into the darkness. For the family, everything happened within minutes. One ordinary evening had turned into every family's worst nightmare. Emergency assistance was called. Mutangadura and his wife, who had reportedly lost consciousness during the traumatic ordeal, were rushed to Eden Hospital in Windsor, Ruwa. Doctors fought to save him. Sadly, the injuries were too severe. Joseph Mutangadura was pronounced dead. News of his killing spread rapidly across Zimbabwe. People struggled to understand how such an organized and violent attack could happen inside a private home. Was this simply an armed robbery? Or had these businessmen been specifically selected? Those questions now rested with detectives from the Zimbabwean Republic Police Criminal Investigations Department. From the very beginning, investigators understood they were dealing with experienced criminals, 7 masked suspects, few eyewitnesses' descriptions, minimum forensic opportunities, several possible escape routes. It was the kind of investigation that could easily have gone cold. But detectives refused to give up. Working tirelessly, they followed intelligence reports, analyzed evidence, interviewed witnesses, and tracked movements across multiple provinces. Weeks later, the first breakthrough arrived. On the 3rd of October 2025, police arrested Philip Mutasa in Mukoba 6, Gweru. It was only the beginning. 10 days later, Given Mandizadza was arrested in Harare, one by one, investigators continued closing the net around the remaining suspects. But then, the investigation took an even darker turn when detectives attempted to arrest Venkesai Jabulani Mutasa. Authorities alleged that he resisted violently and fired at CID detective before escaping. Now police weren't just searching for a murder suspect. They were hunting an armed fugitive, willing to shoot law enforcement officers. Days later, another tragedy unfolded. According to police, Vengesai arrived at Sanyati police station, demanding money he believed had been taken from his home. The confrontation quickly escalated. He allegedly forced people to the ground before opening fire. Police Constable Courage Muchechesi was shot in the stomach. Despite efforts to save him, the officer later died from his injuries. The killing sent shockwaves through the police service. Communities rallied behind investigators, determined to help capture the suspect before many lives were lost. Eventually, police and local residents tracked him down and arrested him. Then came one of the investigation's biggest breakthroughs. Ballistic experts examined the firearms recovered during the investigation. Their conclusion allegedly linked the same pistol to both the murder of Joseph Mutangadura and the fatal shooting of Constable Courage Muchechesi. Suddenly, two separate murder investigations had become one. By the beginning of November 2025, Zimbabwe Republic Police announced that all 7 suspects had been arrested. Philip Mutasa, Given Mandizadza, Anesu Machadu, Vengesai Jabulani Mutasa, Tariro Mutsamenye, Dexter Mugaro, and Webster Now. Together they faced allegations including murder, armed robbery, attempted murder, and firearm-related offenses as the criminal proceedings moved through the Zimbabwean courts. For Joseph Mutangadura's family, no arrest could erase the pain of losing a husband, a father, and respected businessman. Yet the arrest demonstrated the persistence of investigators who refused to allow the case to disappear into history. This case is a reminder that greed can destroy countless lives in just a few minutes. Money can be replaced, property can be replaced, but a human life never can. As the legal processes continues, Zimbabweans continue to watch closely, hoping justice will honor the memory of Joseph Mutangadura and everyone else whose lives were forever changed by that terrible night. What do you think about this investigation? Were the arrest proof of excellence of police work? Or do you believe there are still unanswered questions surrounding the case? Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is in my bio.